This is for you if you have an eye disease like me, or ask someone with an eye disease like me the following questions. Why don't you just wear glasses? If you're blind, where's your dog? How are you legally blind if you can still see? Let's talk about it. What's up, everyone? It's your favorite blind girl back on your screen with another one. Today, my liquid lipstick is your warning. I'm feeling all types of aggy, and usually I don't come across on my channel this way, so sorry if this is the first time you clicked. But today I'm in my feelings because the last couple of weeks I felt tried, I felt tested. We're gonna talk about what Stargardt's disease is and how it affects what I see, because I need to for the people in the back. Now, first of all, I want to thank all of you who have supported me, the new subscribers and the old, over the last couple years or months or yesterday if you just clicked. It's you that has given me the voice to be vulnerable and share with you. I know I try to keep it positive on this platform, but sometimes I have to just be like this and keep it real. So I hope it doesn't come across the wrong way. But if it does, okay, at least I was authentic with it. As you might know if you watched my last update video, I recently got a new job and I've also been trying out some new activities. Keep up to date with me. Follow me on Instagram, I'm always posting on there. This means that I'm around a whole bunch of people that have never heard of Stargardt's disease before. Now listen, I'm very understanding because before I was diagnosed, I was like, Stargardt's who? I don't know what that was. Now that I have my eye that goes to the left trying to be irreplaceable, I feel like I'm the expert in Stargardt's disease, which is why I'll start off by explaining what it is for those of you who don't know. Stargardt's disease is a recessive juvenile macular degenerative disease, which means that you can be in a family of people who never had it, never heard of it, like me, and be the only person that's got it in your family. It's a disease that affects people between the ages of 7 and 21. It affects your retina, the center part of your eye where your cones are most concentrated. So anytime you look around and you're trying to see something, that's what's problematic for people like us. We can't really perceive and see detail, things at a distance, close up, color, depth. It affects everyone differently. So we might be able to do one thing better than somebody else with Stargardt's. It could get worse over time, which is why it's called a degenerative disease. It progresses, it deteriorates over time, and I will talk about what makes this disease so tricky. But it's a dystrophy, so there's no cure, there's no treatment, there's no preventative measures. Glasses might work for you initially, but as the disease progresses to legal blindness or worse, you'll find yourself maybe using different adaptive technology or figuring ways through your thoughts to manage and cope with this disease, which is what I try to do on this channel. So I've realized over the last couple of weeks of having to repeat myself to some of the same people and to new people what it's like to live life legally blind, that this is going to basically be a refresher course on my channel. This eye disease affects people in the center part of their eye. Take a pen, take anything and put it over here. Now you know that you have your fingers here, your pen here, or paper here, whatever you grabbed, but you can't see it clearly. That's what it's like to see through my eyes. Even if I put this here, I see it as clearly as if I was looking out of it at the corner of my eye. Basically, it's like everything is face-tuned smoothing on high. It's not that things are blurry necessarily, it's just that they're not crisp and they don't have detail. So I know what everything is when I'm looking at it, except raccoons. That was scary that one time. But I can't tell for sure what something is unless it's like right up in my face or I magnify with an app. That makes life hard from the time that I wake up until the time I go back to sleep. It's either something I have to think about mentally and prepare for, like what's it gonna be like in 5 years and what can I do today to prepare for tomorrow? Or physically, can I pour this hot water into this glass jar because I can't freaking see it? Every day I'm constantly trying to cope, adjust, adapt. And the hardest part about living life legally blind, at least in my experience, is thinking you've got it, think you got it worked out, and then waking up one day and be like, oh shoot, it's worse now. That's happened to me 2 weeks ago, 2 years ago, and when I was 25. Those were the times in my life where my vision deteriorated the fastest, and I was just like, this is real. This is gonna sound crazy, but I almost wish I was completely blind, or as blind as I will get with this eye disease, instead of going through the last decade of having to try to adjust constantly and thinking that I'm getting it and getting confident from it, and then being like, oh shoot, I can't do what I did a week ago because I can't see. It takes a lot, and it's a challenge on not just the brain, but also on my character, to choose to be graceful with this disease, to struggle and find the beauty in it instead of letting it consume and define who we are. That's what I always ask and urge those of you who have this disease to do. Instead of feeling like you've lost, you're a victim to Stargardt's disease, to use this as a tool to build your character and your confidence and find different ways of looking at the world. I know it gets hard, and that's why I want to make videos like these. Even I have moments where I'm just like, why me? I'm frustrated. I'm beyond the point of annoyed. Half of the world that's like understanding and compassionate, and then there's people that don't care and don't care to get it. And there's the people that are just, they don't think before they speak, and they'll say things like, oh, I have a friend whose cousin's twice removed that has a disease like you, and they still wear glasses. You're not really that bad because, you know, you can still see. Even blind people would tell me it's not that bad because I'm not that blind as them. And I don't understand, like, who are you? Why are you telling me that my lived experience is not what it is? Why do you have to minimize what I'm going through to, I don't know, I just don't get it. If I'm explaining what I'm going through and I'm taking the time to tell you there's no cure, there's no treatment, there's no prevention, still telling me to wear glasses or stop talking about it because it's not a big deal. It's just like you're choosing not to understand, and that's on you, not on me. I wish that there was more kindness in the world, although I've realized with this disease, there's a lot more kindness than I used to think there was. So it makes me really happy. It makes my heart smile. So Hallmark. That's why I feel so compelled to share on this channel with you what my experiences are. And sometimes they're not that great. And sometimes I'm just like, wow, that person knows I'm blind and they're still treating me this way, or they still did that. Stargardts is not an excuse to fail or give up on yourself. And it's also not an excuse to be treated a certain way either. I just want to put that out there in case you're going through something or you're wondering what your life is going to be like. Also, don't let anyone else determine where your life path's going to go. Just because I started to experience a gray blind spot 2 or 3 weeks ago doesn't mean you're ever going to. Before years and years and years, it was almost like everyone was a mannequin where they didn't really have expression or faces unless I was like this close to them. But now there's like a gray halo, or sometimes there's flickering lights. For me, I feel like I'll never get used to this because I had vision for so long. I had this disease diagnosed when I was 21. So I remember the majority of my life being able to see and read and study and see a friend in a cafe so easily. Now all of that is like upside down for me. I'm still getting used to it. Sometimes even I forget that I'm blind. I'll pick up a seasoning and think it's the right thing at the supermarket, and it's not. That's just how life goes. And the only thing we can do about the things we can't control is control how we react, what we take from it. So I hope you take something good from this video. I'm so happy that you took the time to hang out with me. It's always good when I get to film these kind of videos because I feel like I get to be vulnerable and I get to be me. You understand more than some of the people in my regular everyday life. So I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, love and later. That went down the wall pipe.